Could the reel in this box be the new ultra budget BFS King? Let's find out. Hi, I'm Jacob from Yep Fishing. If you're new to the channel, we focus on budget BFS, ultralight and saltwater fishing tackle so you can make an informed decision on your next purchase. Anyway, on to the video. All right, so here is the reel. It's I'm kind of excited about this one. I think this might be the new budget king. Some other reels, the prices have gone up a little, and some of the other reels have just not hit the mark. I think this one's going to be a good one. Let's have a look at it. What is it? It is the Anatono Silver Rhino. So you may have seen this before, but it's a 2025 release, and it is a pretty nice looking and interesting reel that I just had to get my hands on and test for myself to see what all the fuss was about. Now here's the box. We'll take a quick look at the box. It's a pretty big box actually, a lot bigger than, a lot of reels usually come in. Not a particularly, visually pleasing or high quality box, but yeah, here's the box. I'll just say that, take a look at that. We'll talk about that later. 4.5 kgs of drag. 65 centimeter retrieve, 7.2 to 1 gear ratio. Maybe I'll just tell you now, some of these things, well, not the retrieve, but the drag and the gear ratio, online it says something different, so don't know what to believe. But anyway, and even the weight actually, it says it weighs 130 online. Yeah, but let's just say it's 135. Let's assume it has 8+1 and not 5+1. Hopefully they're not lying about that one. And a dual guide shafts. Okay, cool. Let's open the box. Enough of the chatter. Well, we're going to be chattering a lot, but enough of the small talk stuff and on to the business. We've got this nice guide here. I'm just having a look for the first time. It's Chinese and an explosion diagram, also fully in Chinese, so yeah, maybe not that useful, but let's have a look inside. And there she is. At least it comes in this foam. It's not going to rattle around or anything, so that's one positive. I guess a big box means more foam and more protection. Let's just get rid of that box and take a look at the reel. It does look kind of nice. All right, initial impressions are I like the look of the reel, although not a huge fan of orange, but we could ignore that. It looks kind of stealthy, sleek, kind of like, an airplane or something, quite pointy here, and it's got that little triangular cutout piece there, which is interesting. Initially it looks like it's a little bit wider and the spool is quite narrow relative to its width, but let's take a look at the reel. Let's try and get some sort of idea on how good it may be. We'll first take a look at the handle knobs in terms of how they spin. Don't spin. 8+1. Maybe there's bushings in the TP handle knobs here, but there's no play. That's good. Maybe if you twist it like this way, you can feel something, but in and out play, no. Other one, maybe ever so slightly in that one. That one definitely does have a little bit of play. Try and get it to focus. You can see it coming in and out there. Let's see here if there's a little bit of in and out play here. No. Dragster, kind of a smallish dragster. We'll see how much it rotates, because some reels, it doesn't rotate too much, so it's quite firm. Okay, let's assume that it's fully down that way. It's very firm now. So it kind of stops, so it doesn't rotate too much, so it's quite firm there. It's still clicking, but it's very firm. It doesn't have a huge range of motion, but I don't know, maybe that may kind of wear in a little bit, but yeah, not really a massive range of motion there. Spool tension knob, I think it will click. Yep. It's quite, it's quite firm. I would say it's good. Definitely not bad. We'll just see if there's any side-to-side play in the spool there. We'll just back it off a little bit, just so we can free spool it a little bit later. Button-wise, it's got, you know, it's got this nice kind of symmetrical cutout piece, which I don't mind. Some of them are asymmetrical. There'll be more of a cutout on, say, you know, the left side for me being a right-handed, right-handed retrieve. But yeah, it feels comfortable. Like it's actually probably would work quite well either way. Yeah, it is quite comfortable. We'll just give that a click. It doesn't move at all. If I hadn't mentioned that, I mean, yeah, there's very little play in it, so that's good. We'll just see how it responds. No issues there. Let's take a look at this drag, not the drag, the brake dial. Goes from 0 to 10. Just see how easy or how difficult this is to turn. That's quite easy, actually. I was expecting that to be a bit more difficult. Oh, kind of like skipped a little bit there. We'll just try that again. Maybe that was a freak thing, or I thought it kind of moved without clicking a little. But we'll just see if there's no sort of play in that. So yeah, I was suspecting that maybe it slipped clicking because there's some sort of play. I mean, it does go in and out a little bit, but nothing I'd be really worried about. Let's put it on 0. Let's just check the free spool. A lot of reels I've tested recently, you know, the free spool even on 0 isn't that great. But some of them have casted better than I expected based on that. And I thought the reels were going to be over braked purely on the basis that it doesn't free spool well on 0, but they casted fine. Let's just see. Obviously, it's going to be very difficult to see this, you know, shiny black spool, but take my word for it. You're probably not going to hear much because it's got stainless steel bearings, 8+1, and stopped. And stopped. So it doesn't free spool like a absolute demon, but you know, that's not the end of the world. Let's crack this bad boy open. Actually, let's take a look at the line guide. That's something I want to talk about because, as you know, in my previous video I mentioned it, that T-shaped conical line guide. Can it be T-shaped and conical at the same time? I don't know, but you know what I mean. It's got a, you know, T shape. That's my favorite type of a line guide, so that's a positive thing. Just have a look to see how it travels. If it goes, you know, from, I'm just looking down the edges of the spool to see if the center of the line guide hits the edges of the spool. That kind of gives me an idea as to what the line lay may be like, and that is good. I guess we better talk about the smoothness of the retrieve because we're doing it right now, and I would say it's not fantastic. It's definitely not like, say, the Silver Feather XADC or the Silius Ash Moon, which are the two smoothest reels that I have on the retrieve. You know, there's would I say it's a geariness? Like, it's consistent in its sort of slight roughness. It's definitely not buttery. Handle resistance wise is quite low. I would probably compare the feeling maybe to the Histar GIU reels. Not sort of a super premium feel on the retrieve, but it's not particularly bad or anything. So yeah, that's how I'd probably describe that. But considering the price of this reel, it's kicking a lot of goals and ticking a lot of boxes. Let's pop off the side plate. Let's take a look at what's going on with the brakes and the spool and everything like that. So we've got this open and close button here. Push that to the open position. And this is either a twist off or a pop out. We'll try and pop it out at first. Oh, it's having a little bit of difficulty coming out. Let's see if it, no, it doesn't twist. Let's see. Okay, it slipped out of the open position somehow. But yeah, pop that out. And yeah, you'll notice right there, there's this little tab here, or, you know, part that protrudes out. And then there's a hole right, we'll try and get the light in there, right there. And that's what this sits in. So obviously it's not twist off, it's a pop out job. So we'll pull this spool out. We'll take a look at the spool, and then we'll take a look at the side plate. The spool weighs 5.7 grams, which is quite light. And we've got a bit of grease on the finger there. We'll take a look at this bearing, this stainless bearing. There is a reasonable amount of excess grease on the shaft there and on the bearing, but you know, you can wear it in, or if you really wanted to, you could just put them in some, you know, isopropyl alcohol or something like that and just flush them. They may operate a little bit better, but may not be quite as smooth. But that's something you got to tweak to your own desires. And yeah, it's got some ports right in the middle there. There's only, you know, that single kind of, you know, bicycle wheel type deal right in the middle there. Obviously short shaft. Yeah, pretty cool. Take a look at the brake system. So you see here, it's got this orange, what does it say? System. Oh no, they've got a typo on there. It's system DESGIN. So it's not design, it's Desgin. So that's a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, it is what it is. It's obviously not going to harm the performance of the reel. And we can see there, that little, there's another little gloop of grease there. We'll just get that off there. Quite a nice amount there. Yeah, I don't think it's a dynamic braking system. I think it's an FTB style. We'll just set it to its maximum. We'll just see what happens. Okay, it doesn't rotate. It just comes out. It's interesting. Okay, yeah. Basically, this outer ring here is a magnet. So that's what the deal is with there. So that is like the FTB system, I believe, is what that is. I wonder if it magnetizes when you put this in like that. Maybe. I don't know if that's the magnetic effect or if it's just the resistance, but yeah, that's kind of just sits in there. Interesting. But we'll have to obviously do a cast testing video and get it on the water and really see what this is all about, because for the price point, I think it might be unbelievable value for money. It is only 38 Australian dollars right now. So that's something like 20, let me see, I'm going to say 24 US or 26, I don't know, one of the two. But it's incredibly cheap. I do want to mention though that like it said on the box, it said 4.5 kgs of drag. I'll put a graphic up. It does say in the sort of the text that it has 6 kgs of drag. And then in the images on the bottom where it's got, you know, all the specs and the beauty shots and stuff, it says 5 kgs, and on the box it says 4.5. And as we saw on the box, it said it weighs 135 grams, and in the marketing it says 130. So yeah, I'm not too sure what the deal is with that. Let's just chuck it on the scale and find out actually. All right, so we've got these nice little kitchen scales here that I've waxed some stickers on that I've got as, you know, freebies when you buy stuff from AliExpress. Oh no, what? Weighs, no, I'm just kidding. 133 grams. Let's just take that off. Yep, zero it out. Let's just see. 133. Okay. Says 135 on the box, 130 online, 133. Well, oh, 132. Maybe it's 132.5. They couldn't decide what to say, and it's somewhere in the middle. So yeah, that's pretty good. Don't forget to please drop a comment and a like and set a hook in that subscribe button. So one last thing I thought I would do is just compare it to some other reels. I mean, maybe in terms of the size, and we might even turn the handle and see what the retrieve is like, and just to familiarize myself with those other reels and sort of get a comparison. So this is a silver rhino, and we'll put it up against the first ever BFS reel that I bought, and that's this guy here. Haven't used it in a while, but it is still a great reel. It is the Kirim or Histar Black Knight 2. So yeah, it's a pretty sick looking reel. So in terms of its size, you know, I mean, they're quite similar. Maybe the silver rhino here is a little bit shorter, but in terms of its, you know, top to bottom length, it looks a little bit shorter, but depth wise seems about the same. And then, you know, obviously it's a little bit tricky to do on camera, but yeah, size wise, I think it's a little bit smaller. So this reel here will be the same as the OG Micro Monster, the BFS KING Zeus, the Soloking Acura, and probably something else that I'm forgetting. But yeah, this is a very common reel. I'm just kind of interested what it's like on the retrieve. Okay. Actually, feels quite low resistance. I think I just whacked these handles on, like I kind of did a bit of swapping around so they're not shimmed. Okay, I would say the silver rhino is kind of on par with that. Take a look at another reel that I've reviewed recently. I peeled a little bit of line off it. It is the Caesar Cast Pro. In terms of size, I'd say the Cast Pro kind of seems a little narrower. It could be, you know, the color and everything like that that's throwing me off, but yeah, it definitely looks a little bit narrower, especially on the brake side plate. There's a little bit of meat on the side here, so that's kind of interesting. I just want to spin this around. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, they feel quite similar. Oh, actually, that just felt a bit rough then. Yeah, I would say the Cast Pro feels a little bit smoother. We'll just throw it up against one more reel, and that is the XADC Silver Feather Pure Lure. Probably the best reel that I've ever used. It's going to be, we might have to pop that off if we want to test it, but yeah, size wise, I would say the silver rhino is a little bit wider, but in terms of the sort of lengthwise, they're pretty similar. Let's just familiarize myself with this reel. We'll have to, what have I done here? And this is going to be kind of difficult because it's got the line on the spool, but we'll just give it a, yeah, it's going to be hard to judge because that line is bumping around inside there. But yeah, it's definitely very low resistance and smooth for sure. So yeah, I guess some final thoughts on this reel, just if there's such thing as final thoughts for an unboxing video, because I'll give my final thoughts in a review video that will be coming up definitely within 3 weeks, if not within a week. For $38, you know, I've tried quite a few reels around this price point. I sort of declared that the Histar Aurora Air was the new budget king a little while back, and I did agree with that at the time, but sort of since then, both the Soloking Acura, which was the budget king, and the Aurora Air have gone up in price. I can't remember the exact price of the Soloking Acura recently, but the Aurora Air, I believe I remember seeing it for $66 in the recent sale, and this guy comes in at $38. So do I think that this will cast as good as that particular reel? I doubt it. I think the Aurora Air is an absolutely phenomenal caster. In terms of its workmanship or quality control, things like that, I think this reel is probably on par with it. So it probably comes down to the castability of it. I think the retrieve is probably pretty equal. The braking, time will tell whether the braking is good or not, whether it's consistent, or whether it has a kind of, you know, a very small sweet spot in which you can get a good cast, or, you know, if you go a touch too low, you might blow up the spool. It seems like some reels are like that, but we'll have to see what that is all about. But overall, I think I'm going to have to declare this the new budget BFS King. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.